Alright, so here we are, we got the high wind, and now you would think we could do all sorts of fun, awesome stuff, but unfortunately we can't quite yet. We have to figure out what happened to Cloud before we can do any of the really exciting stuff. But there are some things to do as soon as you get the high wind, and that's what this part is all about. So this part is actually just going to be all bonus stuff. We are not going to do any progression of the story in this part. That'll be in the next part. So this is all some extra stuff, stuff you'll want to do as soon as you get the high wind. And like I said in the last part before, there is something cool I'm going to show you at the end. So first off, now you have Tifa as your party leader. And first we're going to head to actually the place where we just came from, Junon, and head to all of those shops that we went to in Disc 1. The reason being is that everything now has changed. So everything in the materia shops, item shops, accessory shops, weapon shops have all changed. So if there's anything that you've missed or possibly missed, you can get most of it here, which is pretty cool. So this is the materia shop first. Here I have everything from that shop. So, but if you don't, there's something, or if you want something extra, you can pick it up there. And as you can see, I was missing this weapon, the plus barrette. So I went ahead and grabbed that, everything else I had. That shop there, I believe, is another weapon shop. I had everything. So we keep on going forward. There's some more shops up ahead. This weapon shop is actually a shop that contains all of those weapons I was telling you about earlier that have 0 materia slots. Every single character has a weapon like that, and this guy just so happens to have all of them. So if you were missing one, you can grab it there. I was just missing the one for Sid, the mop, so I picked that one up. There was another weapon I was missing, one for Yuffie. Once we hit up all the shops, we can leave. Now after Junon, the next place we're going to head to is Costa del Sol. We're pretty much going to do the same thing. There's some new weapons now that we can buy, and depending on how much money you have, you might be able to buy the villa here. I'm actually not even sure how that would work exactly, because you have Tifa in your party, and the villa is named the Cloud Villa or Villa Cloud. So I'm kind of curious as to what would happen if Tifa bought it, if it would still be named that, or if you're not allowed to buy it right now. I'm not entirely sure about that. There was Johnny, the childhood friend of Tifa and Cloud, supposedly. And in here, you're going to talk to this guy in the corner. Everything he has, you probably will not have. So, like for me, I did not have a single thing on here, so I bought everything that he had to offer me. And luckily I had just enough money to buy all of it. So if you do have the money and are interested in buying it, this is where you would go to buy the villa. I am broke, so we are going to leave. And the next place we are going to go now is Cosmo Canyon. Once we get inside, we're going to hang a right, and we're going to go all the way to the end and climb up this ladder. The first time we came here, this area was initially blocked off. There was a rope right there. It is now gone, so we can come in here in the back, and inside we will find an elixir, a magic source, and the full cure materia. I never use full cure materia, but it is essential if you want to get the master materias later. Well, the master magic materia. And that is all we have to do at Cosmo Canyon. Next visit will be Rocket Town. First thing we're going to do is hang a left right into the weapon shop. There's a couple chests that we can grab. Here's one of them. The next one's in the item shop. Now, if you remember, I was telling you here you'd want to buy the shotgun because it is gone after disc 1, and this is the only place you can get it. And as you can see, his shop has changed. There's some different things. They're mostly accessories now. So if you're missing any of those accessories, you can pick them up there. In here is another chest that we can grab. And same thing as before, if there's any items you're missing here, you can grab them. And that does it for Rocket Town. The next place we're going to go is actually not on the map at all. It is hidden. It is a secret island. The easiest way to find it, it's in the bottom left-hand corner, but not exactly in the corner. It's more lined up with the big continent. So you should be able to tell on my mini-map in the right corner that where exactly it is. Kind of lined myself up with the end of the big continent, and then you head south. Tiny island, it's called Cactus Island. And this part is going to be difficult, but it is definitely worth it. So 99% of the time all you're going to fight here is cactuses. There is another enemy you can fight. You rarely get it. You'll mostly just get cactuses, which is exactly what we're looking for. When we get into a fight with one, this is where it becomes tricky. We are going to try and manipulate, or not manipulate, we're going to try and morph this guy. And your morph is going to be weak, so you'll probably want to put it on your strongest character to make it a little bit easier. But it's going to be tough. He has, I believe, 6,000 HP. So you're going to try and get as close as you can to that number without actually killing him. That way you can morph him. So here's the battle where I was successful. So right now he's down to 1672. So that was actually fortunate. We got to 1571. So he's only around 100 HP right now. It's easier if you manipulate him to get your attacks to hit. Because he is small, he's got a pretty high evasive percentage. So you will probably want to manipulate him as well when you're trying this. And there I was able to morph him, and you turn him into a Tetra Elemental. So you might be wondering what the heck that is. It is an accessory. So you head down here to accessories, go all the way to the bottom, Tetra Elemental. Drains fire, cold, lightning, and earth attacks. So if anyone does any of those attacks to you, it will be 0, which is pretty sweet. So I ended up doing that 3 times. It is a pain, but it is definitely worth it. 3 Tetra Elementals. Just in case. And if you want that extremely, perfect game, 99 of everything, you will have to do that 99 times. But I would suggest doing that later, where it will be much more easier to morph. Once we get a certain weapon, or once we get strong enough in general, we'll be able to manipulate or morph them into Tetra Elementals in one attack. After that, we're going to head to this island that is shown on the map. It is called Goblin Island, and there are two things we want from these guys. First off, you're going to want to steal from them. I had a really hard time. I don't know why every time I try to show you guys something that I'm stealing, it takes forever to get it. So we're going to try and steal, and we also want to get him to do the Goblin Punch. They can be manipulated, so then you can have them do it to each member of your character once. The Goblin Punch, believe it or not, is an enemy skill. It is a weak enemy skill, and I never use it, but nevertheless it is an enemy skill, and to get that completely full you will need to learn that one. So once you do that, all I have left now is to steal. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because it took forever, and we get a Zeonut. You will want 2 of these. You won't need them right now, but it is something you will need in the future. Now, once we leave Goblin Island, we're going to head back to the Chocobo farm. I'm not entirely sure if you can buy stables yet. If you can, you should do that. I didn't have any money, obviously, so came in here, got the Chocobo lure, and left. So get stables if you can. If not, you can just go there and grab the Chocobo lure. Now, finally, last but certainly not least, I am going to show you a trick that I learned. So you're going to head, if you see where I am, I'm on this 3rd continent, and at the tail part of it, you will see a cave. Now, if you know anything about this game, you know what that cave is. For those of you who don't, that is a materia cave. There are 4 materia caves in the game. Now, the only way to get to materia caves is by chocobos. You need a certain one to get to the materia caves. For example, to get to the materia cave on the continent where Wutai is, you need the mountain one. So anyway, here's one of the caves. Now, if you just noticed there, I was glitched into the wall. There is a trick where you can actually land your ship in the perfect way so that Tifa ends up landing, or the ship lands up top, but you are on the bottom. So what you want to do is line yourselves up. See, now here's what I had a problem with, is I am on the other side, but I'm still glitched into the wall, so I actually can't go forward. But what we want to do is you want to line your ship up right on that edge. Now there's 2 ways you can do it. If you line it up right on the edge, if you knew, maybe you don't know, R1 and L1 make you do sharp turns with the high wind. So what you want to do is, as you're landing, hold R1 or L1 depending on which way you're facing, and you make a sharp turn, and it twerks your ship so that the ship is up there and Tifa's down there. Now, this is the problem I kept running into, though, is that I kept getting glitched into the wall. Then I did a little more research on it. There is an easier way to do it. So there's 2 possible ways. You can do it the way I just explained, where you try and use L1 and R1 to sharply turn your ship as you're landing. Or another way I saw someone do it was, if you hold square you can go in side-to-side directions, up and down and diagonal. So what this guy did was, right there, as I landed, I was holding square and I moved off to the side. By doing that, I glitched into that cliff with the ship, and then I had plenty of space to go ahead, and I was not in the wall. I was able to run after that. So just line yourself up with that cliff. You hit X to land, and as you're landing, hold square and move over slightly to the left with the D-pad while holding square, and you should be able to glitch into that cliff so where Tifa lands on the other side and is able to walk forward after that. So now that we're on this side, all we have to do is finish this fight off and we'll be able to go into the materia cave. So we are going to get to the chocobo breeding fairly soon, but it is nice to get this now because it does take quite a while to level these materias up, so it's nice to have it a little bit early so we can start leveling it up right away. This cave in particular has the Quadra Magic materia. Because right now, you would think you'd be able to do the chocobo breeding right away if you know anything about it, but you can't because Gold Saucer is closed right now. If you go to Gold Saucer, you'll see Dio at the entrance. He'll tell you that he's sad and depressed and he just didn't want to have the Gold Saucer open at the time. He will open it later on, but we have to get some things done first. However, it is very difficult, and I've never done it myself, but it is possible to get your mountain, river, and gold chocobos without racing. I don't really know much about it. I think it's just really rare and you're just going to have to retry over and over and over. But you can do that if you want to. We're going to do that later. Now we're going to head here to Mideel. This is the one town we have not been to yet. Before you go in, you're going to want to take everything off of Tifa. And that will be the end of this part. The next episode, we are going to head into Mideel. I got another secret for you, which is a very good one. You will like that one too. And we might actually find out what happened to Cloud. I'll see you next time.